Ladies and gentlemen, Beaky here with the Untitled Game Show, and here are my 3 most craziest video game stories of the week that I just can't believe that happened this week. Let's start it off with the gameplay seen in the background from Ubisoft's Rainbow Six Siege. This was one of the few times I actually was able to get into a match and play a full game flawlessly. I can't believe that this game is less than a month away, and it's so screwed up when it comes to the online connectivity. Drops from matches, online loading screens just want to load forever, and people have to literally turn off the whole entire game. I've been sharing clips to Twitter of my issues with this game and tweeting them to Rainbow Six developers, Ubisoft, and be like, yo, is the game actually going to be ready for launch? We are not that far away from the launch. How is the online connectivity still like this? They had a closed beta, they went into open beta, and I'm still having problems. And the worst part about this is that I think the core game itself is kind of fun, but with so many issues with connecting to friends and actually getting into matches, I'm very fearful when this game is going to be released. That's number 1. Number 2, you guys might be wondering, why am I holding up these titles right here? Well, I have a question for you. What does a PSP Vita game have in common with a Wii U game, a PlayStation 3 game, and an Xbox One game? Well, you're about to find out in a few seconds. Because are we really in the point in the video game industry that developers are fearing to put out titles due to sexism issues? Is that really where we are in this art form of video games? Music? Movies? Books already went through all this stuff. People burned books, people riled against music, and eventually it was accepted that yes, there's gonna be music, there's gonna be books, and there's gonna be movies that are not for you and me. They're gonna offend people. And with those books, they don't limit people from making those books. They put ratings on those books. They put rating on those movies. The music as well. They limit children having contact with them. And I was like thinking to myself, wait a second, hasn't the video game industry been putting ratings and having the ability to let people know what they should and shouldn't buy depending on the content in the game? Oh yeah, there is. E+, E+, Teen, M. So the video game industry already lets you know there's blood and gore, drugs, wrestling, sexual terms, and strong language and violence in games. So if I'm an adult and I'm mature enough not to want to play a game with those themes, I could walk away and just not buy that game. Are we really going to limit developers through pressure online at that, through Twitter, through social networks, to not put out games in our region? Is that really where we have been in the video game industry for the last 2 years, that this is actually affecting the release of games in the Western region? That Japan culture is so mature that they're willing to accept DOA for the game that it is, and that the United States and the European region is not mature enough to accept the human body? My mind's blown with this one. And last but not least, let's talk about Dying Light developer doing something I personally have never heard about in the video game industry. Actually raising their price of their DLC. Boom, mind blowing. Now this was a very interesting case because I've just never seen this happen before. The DLC and the season pass is going up in price because the scope of the DLC that they're going to be putting out is going to be of a bigger scope. They're actually making it going to be more stuff in their cars. There's going to be a lot more stuff added to this DLC. So with that being said, they're actually raising the price of the season pass, which went from $20, which is now on December 8th, is going to be $30. And I'm thinking to myself, is this okay? I mean, if you haven't picked up the DLC pass yet, now do you feel rushed to go get it so you get all the DLC at a good price? The DLC is going to be going up for people who are thinking about buying it before. I'm like, man, is it right to raise the price of a season pass? Like, is that correct to you guys? And I'm not saying it's not going to be worth the money because the game has not come out with this extra content yet. So I don't know if this raising in price is really worth the monetary value. This is just a new thing for me in the gaming industry. I just have never seen it before. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this has happened so many other times that I just don't buy enough DLC to see it. But am I crazy to think that a season pass and DLC raising in price is a crazy concept? Let me know in the comment section below. That's been me, Beaky, here with the Untitled Game Show, with the craziest stories that I heard in the video game industry for this week. Share yours in the comment section below.